And again, I want to start this off by saying, as most of you can imagine, I know a lot of you totally respect what I'm doing. I have to pay. I have to pay for my internet connection. I have to pay for my WordPress subscription. A $50 WordPress suite just went through that I'm worried might be tied to the tip jar. I'm not sure what I was paying extra for that. Anyway, so all donations are accepted. Now, again, back to the Sadie Alvarado story on Channel 6. Surely everyone noticed that those girls, as I have weird trucks going by with loud mufflers, you'll see the reflections. See it? The cool thing about this house that I'm never going to sell, wackies, it's very bright. It's a very bright house. And now that I've removed all the doors and opened everything up, it was Dan Bowie that told me to take the cupboards off, and then Chris Scully that came over here and did it, and it was great. But anyhow, important. Those tattoos on those girls' necks, to me, they looked like crowns. That could have been Latin Kings. They might be part of Latin Kings. The Latin Kings are in town. I've referenced MS-13. I'm not exactly sure what MS-13 specific. I think its roots are from, I believe I had heard Central America, El Salvador, which would make sense given that I was in Long Beach when it came around, because that would be the Maxine Waters area. Long Beach is, of course, a little further south, but when I was in crystal meth, I made it, I would go wherever somebody said, yeah, come on over, yeah. So that's how I've lived it, and nobody can imagine that I did, but I did. And I held down corporate jobs at the same time. Yeah. It's the kind of FBI movie TV. Boom, boom. I mean, I've already been seeing plot lines. I'm like, they're following me on LinkedIn. And don't think they're not. I know who it is. If you can all look and see who the people are, what they do. Anyway, so the Latin Kings are in town. They have brought them in. I have a few ideas about where the Latin Kings come from. I think it's all going to be worked out. I actually kind of think that it looks like the community is pulling together. Dare I say that? It really looks that way to me. Also, some of the support I'm getting. I saw also my cousin Syndrome had liked the video about the monies. And Syndrome, I haven't forgotten that I owe you 20. I got to tell you, Syndrome, that when the mail comes, I think, well, is there going to be a card from a Ruby or Syndrome or LL? And there never is. And I think, well, I owe Syndrome 20. And she's angry. She needs her 20 for her Village Inn pie, don't you? I'm just being silly. I bet Cindy would like to come over and smoke some Cresco cookies with me. I told Cindy she needs to get a card. I'm glad to see that she's alive and that she liked it. So anyhow, the Latin Kings, that's an issue, and I urge the news media to look into it. I cannot be on the ground right now interviewing people. Hey, although I do. I'm just that stupid. Ooh, I got scolded on the bus today, and I deserved to be. I was really getting myself into some serious trouble, and it was obvious once I got out. I really, seriously, yeah. And I did apologize to the driver, and he accepted my apology. So I was handled very well. Man saved my life, and I knew that, and so that's why I respected him. In rare show of respect to anybody anymore, but I do to the people that I know. Or should have the officer that did the report, Gustafson. Boy, he I thought he was going to shoot me. Until then, I realized, no, he's one of the good ones. I'd like to think they're all good now. Oh, finally, before I sign off, the dispatcher last night, it was a PTSD attack. You're probably trying to do things by the book, and I don't think it was you last night, and I apologize. You're not the one on the weekend that said bye-bye. I've talked to you in the past, and you're nice. I was caught off guard by the report because, reports need to be filed, but I didn't have anything to add. I really didn't. So anyhow, the problem is I keep thinking of stuff and I wish it could all just be done. But, the more I think of and the more people contribute what they know, then that's how we get it all solved. And then in the end, the community sees who was played and by whom. And then the community's like, oh, well, we were all screwed. And then the community comes together. And then we all skip with rainbows being created as we skip along down the green pasture of life. And I might be being a little silly, but I'm completely serious. And that's how Glendale went down. When you see how filthy the establishment is and how they've used people to partake in their filth. and profit off their filth, communities will come together and chase out the filthies and #lock them up. Have a good evening. Yours in cannabis.